Hello, you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lecture Musica, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guylain Prince. I am a Franciscan friar from Canada, and I love rock music for a long time, especially hard rock, metal, and prog. We are on a journey with Epica, the Netherlands super band. We call this symphonic metal. They published a new album called Omega in February 2021. This is the 10th reaction video to their music. It's the 11th instrumental piece of the album, but since there is an opening, that's the 10th song. So last week we did Synergize Manic Manifest, both the reaction and the analysis. Thank you for all of your comments. As you know, I read everything. I react if I can to everything. For me, this channel is not a monologue from me. It's a dialogue with all of you and me, and together we try to understand great songs, okay? So don't never be ashamed, or for whatever is the reason, don't let them stop to write down what you think. And you can, of course, subscribe. You can add, you can push the little red bell. But all of this, for me, since I don't do that for commercial purposes, just for the fun of it, this is for, I would say, a hobby. My free time, a little bit of free time I take in my week is for this, to have a nice dialogue with you guys about great music. And earlier this week, I reacted to the song Twilight Reverie, Hypnagogic State. That is the analysis of that song. If you haven't heard it, please go back and just go and listen to my reaction video of the song, both in two versions, the official one, the public one. There's also an orchestral version that I really love to hear. I really do love to hear these versions. They help us to appreciate the final product even more. So the 10th song, as I said, the 11th instrumental piece of the album, the composer is Mark Jansen with Epica, and the lyricist is Mark Jansen. The song, the introduction, in fact, is more, I would say, a liaison, an hyphen with what is the previous song called Synergize, and that portion ends with a very, I called it the pastoral landscape, very serene, very beautiful, and then there's a link. That's what it tied with the previous song. And there's, I would say, a transition. We move from this pastoral to a full of positive energy, nice and light melody by the strings on an energetic rhythm section. So, and then, as we often see in metal, there's an half-tempo beat that arrives suddenly. To me, it suggests rootedness, solidity in movement. And the every other, I would say, instruments, they kind of put an expectation. There's some kind of suspension. We are waiting for something, and then the ballad style beat enters, and immediately we hear Simone with back vocals, something I appreciated in the last song as well. There is the full-fledged choir regularly, but there's also a smaller ensemble, I could say, of back vocals, only female, if I remember well. So I like it very much, very well done. This is what she says. Time is on my side again, move on forever. As you beam your rays of light, I feel your presence. There's an I, there's a you. There are two persons, or maybe two parts of the same person. Time is on my side again, so I would say here, I take time, or I spend some time, or I have time. Maybe with the pandemic and so many things happening for a year and a half, maybe someone has the time to stop. Time is on my side. That would be my take on this one, without knowing for sure. Move on forever. Now, there is an ambiguity, as very often in English. English poetry plays on that very much. I don't think it's time moves on forever, because there would be the third person singular, s at move. So here it would be, from my understanding, an imperative. The person is talking, move on forever. So there is kind of an understanding that the person is in movement forever. Some kind of understanding of a person as being eternal. That and growing, because move on, this locution means to grow, to be in movement forever. That could be interesting, eh? As you beam your rays of life, I feel your presence. You beam your ways of life. Of course, we could say that it is the meeting of someone else, being a radiant person. That could be one understanding. I personally would tend to think that within the human heart, there's a true self beaming or expecting to beam out. We will talk about that. I would prefer this one, but for sure, as it is, it looks like it is someone else. Okay, someone else, radiant person, illuminating person in my life. I feel your presence, and it seems to suggest that it's something that has eternity as a growing space. Okay. Now the choir with Simone, the choir says, "Without seeing you, I will listen for the sound. Without any clue, I'll have you around." That's quite interesting, isn't it? Without seeing you, I will listen. So I don't see you, but I will listen. Without any clue, so I don't have evidence. It's not an obvious present. So this is quite interesting, because right before we talked about radiant person, the you being a radiant person, and here it's written without seeing you. So the radiation we were talking about in the first verse wouldn't be a visible radiation. I guess maybe some kind of deep radiation or spiritual radiation. And I will listen. So I cannot see you, but I will listen for the sound. Without any clue, without knowing for sure, without this being an obvious thing or demonstrable thing, deductible, I'll have you around. You will be with me forever. A presence to be there forever. In the C section that I call the pre-chorus is stable and prepare most of the choruses. Wait for the token, a vision or a sign. The ties shall be broken when you free yourself from madness. Wait for the token, which is pretty much can have many. Of course, a token can be only a jeton, physical jeton, so that you give a token to cross the river or to have something in exchange. I'm not sure here what would be the meaning, but that could be as well to have everything you need to go further. So being given because the person wait for the token, the free pass, the VIP pass could be an understanding. But for me, if you have any ideas, better idea of the meaning of token here, because in French it could be a gage de quelque chose. That would make sense as well. A vision or sign. So to have what you need to go further, the vision or a sign, so that I can go and free yourself from madness. We saw that there is this imperative mode. Is it the other person to free yourself from madness, or is it? Am I talking about myself? And what is that madness, and what is that sanity we're talking about? And the ties shall be broken. The ties that we already saw in many other songs in that album. The limitation, the ties, I remember very well Mark saying the ties will be broken in another song. The ties to free something from within. And that's why I think this song is about freeing something from within. And the madness would be, from that understanding, a superficial self, which is, according to the world as we live in, visible world, and but being considered as madness ultimately, which is kind of interesting. That would be my understanding on this. I don't know what is yours, but I would tend to go in that direction here. Now, there is a very interesting chorus here, and let's go through it all. Justify the demons in your mind when they will show no mercy. Justify the angels by their side in a twilight a rivalry. Defy the laws of humankind, for they will keep you dreaming. Dwell inside the twilight reverie. I think we will spend a lot of time on this one because it's pretty much the key as I understand it. Well, no, I would say it's the richest section of the song. The key will be the growling of Mark. So let's see for now. Justify the demons in your mind. It's a common expression both in religion, in Christianity, that not only there are outside demons, but inside demons, which means that the darker parts of us, those parts that divides us, okay? Justify the demon. The word justify, so we are clearly here, demons in your mind. So the context is very clear. Justify them. Justify, you know that there are two meanings to justify. Justify, it can be giving false explanation of something that is not right. False, by that I mean explanations that do not corresponds to reality, do not correspond to reality. I will justify them, but knowing that it's not reality. Justify can mean also to make just, or to make it right, to make it just. Here, it would be give rightful or justful space to the demons. We will see what it aims at basically, but that would be my say, to give space to the demons in your mind when they will show you no mercy. So these, like we saw earlier in the album, these could be furie, very strong, very and escape your control in a way. By giving them some space, we adjust space, they will not be as out of control. They will have some space. We will be able to hear them when they come. But we do the same with the angels, which would be the angels in your mind, the messengers in your mind. So they are darker parts, but they are brighter parts within us, right there by the side of the demons, okay? So they are part of our mind, of our heart. So justify, to give some space. That would be my understanding. What is yours? I want to hear you. Maybe there's another definition of justify. Don't hesitate. Write it down. In a twilight reverie. Twilight rivalry. Yeah. In the unconscious level, they are fighting against each other. They are rivals. Let's try to make them not rivals anymore. Okay? Twilight, we will come back to that, the definition of this. It's very interesting to me. Very, very interesting. Defy the law of humankind. That would be for me an imperative again. It's a call to defy the law of humankind, for they will keep you dreaming. My understanding is that reality as we perceive it, the outside laws of humankind are like, I would say, a superficial level of reality. Here, called keep you dreaming, keep you in outside of yourself, or in a certain level of reality where you don't enter into true and deep action, long-term action. This would be quite coherent for a long time. Mark has been writing songs, and it's a song by Mark, writing songs about dream. We will come back to that. There are two definitions to dream in Mark's writings, and one of them is sometime to imagine something that will keep you away from reality, away from being involved in reality. Here, a dream would be, as I understand it, a certain level of reality, keeping us from going deeply into reality. That would be my understanding. Dwell inside a twilight reverie. There's a call to dwell in a state of reverie in twilight, and we will come back to what it means, because that's pretty much like you can see, it's the title of the song. So we will give a good period of time to that. Now let's go back to the verse, the second verse. I split the verses in two because the way it is song is quite different. First part is Simone with backing vocals. I forgot to write it down here, but this A section is with back vocals. Life evolves in many ways. Reach on forever. As the answer will emerge, I feel your essence. Life evolves in many ways. It can evolve from outside, but it can evolve from inside, going towards not temporal reality, but eternal reality. I think this is a call to evolve towards eternal reality. Reach on forever. See, you have it. It's an echo of the first verse. It's very well done. As the answers will emerge, the beaming from the deep inside, I feel your essence. Here, your essence could be, in fact, my essence, or the essence of someone else being there deep inside. I think we can, if we are coherent with the beginning of the song, I would tend to think that it's the true self. So that's me, but at a deeper level. And this part of me is about to join the more superficial self. That would be my guess. But for those of you who have a belief that there is a God you can have a relation with, it could be something like that here. I think there's the wording is an open one in this song, giving some space for pretty much everyone to feel at home. Next, the choir enters without hearing you, and a thousand miles apart, without any clue, I'll find you in my heart. There you have it. Everything is happening in one mind and one heart. Okay. Even if I don't hear you, I listen. You remember the previous one? That's it. First verse. Without hearing you, and the thousand miles apart. Here, first I thought, is the person talking about someone else very, very far? Let's say, for example, you are on a tour and you think of your child. I don't think it's a geographical distance. I think a thousand miles apart is a general expression to say, I'm very far from. That would be my take. And this distance here would be a spiritual or a distance inside the heart. And without any clue, this is a repetition of the idea of the first verse as well. I'll find you in my heart. So there is someone to meet in own's mind, own's heart. Wait for the token, a vision or a sign. You see the rhythm, it's well written. This is well written. The ties shall all be broken, the ties, when you free yourself from darkness. So this is why I think it's person, a more superficial person talking to him or herself about a deeper self. This is why these paragraph here, same thing with the first other C section. Ties shall be broken, the ties, so that sometimes it is called a ball, it is ties, it has been said always. Also, shall be broken so that the true or deep self can be untied and shine fully. When you free yourself from darkness, these would be then the ties that prevent me from going deeper. So the dream, I would say, superficial level of reality, so that I can go deeper. That would be my understanding of that section. You already know the chorus, so I will, and I just remind you that there is the last line, dwell inside the twilight reverie. It will be quite significant when we come back to that. Let's go now. There's a small inter here, instrumental section. We expect something. I very like the steady one-note bass with the strings over it. I find it very, very, very nice. I love it. And then a woman's voice in spoken words will say, "The monsters emerged like the light of day. With the pace that they rose, so too did they fade." The monsters, I'm pretty sure it's parts of us, the demons, that are within the mind and the heart. So they emerge like the light of day, like we're talking, the title of the song is Twilight. So they come like the light comes in, or the darkness comes out, and they come out, and the monsters come out. With the pace that they rose, so too they fade. So they enter, they go back, they come in, they go back. So I would understand it as these darker parts of us, they come in, we get conscious of their presence, but they just fade away. Once we have welcomed and accepted them, it fades away. Now again, Mark gives himself great lines. Breath, the conscious breath now. I find, you remember that song of Epica, I think is about, he growls us that the true identity we discover in silence. This being said in metal fashion. What a paradox, eh? He growls us to breathe and to rest, to inhale, to recharge yourself, to take pure pleasure of breathing, of enjoying the moment, and we will see, in fact, that this song is about meditation. I'm pretty sure of that. That's great. Again, I love Mark. I never met him, but I like what he writes. Most of the time. Now, the bridge is on the beat that is close to the same quality, energetic, positive as the opening, with light strings. There, the guitar solo, very tasteful guitar solo. And then comes the last chorus. I should have put a small D prime here. Yeah, because there's a slight difference both in melody and wording. Not for the first lines, I would say 6 first lines. The 2 last are different, and I want to focus on them. Seek and find the life tree, our remedy. Now, seek and find, you know that it is part of the gospel, not only, but where it comes from in the Western world is the Gospel of Matthew. It's Jesus says, "Seek and you shall find." Here it's the life tree. The life tree, it refers to the Garden of Eden, chapter 2 of Genesis, and also of the Apocalypse. You know that, remember when we talked about the Omega point, that there was a reference of the Apocalypse, the Revelation book, where Jesus says he's the Alpha and the Omega. The life tree is by a river then accessible to all in eternity. So life tree is eternal life. So seek and find eternal life. This is what it means. Our remedy, yeah, because in the Apocalypse, it is said that the trees with, and this tree and all the others, they have the remedy for the human. There's no disease, there's nothing, because we have the full remedy. That's pretty much it. Okay, the song ends by 3 punches by all. That's it. So let's go into detail now, the structure of the music. It's a very simple structure. There's an opening, a substantial opening with A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D section. C, D being the pre-chorus and D being the chorus. So 2 normal cycle, then a small inter. E, the first one is spoken word. F is the growling. A longer section where you have the solo from the guitar, and D, you find the we saw that it should be D prime because there's a slight difference in the phrasing, both the melody and the words, the 2 last lines. So it's a positively dynamic and highly melodic song, apart from the fact that the words are the finale again. One of what I wrote here is one of Epica's characteristic features. This song presents the most common rock pop structure of a song. This kind of structure is common to almost all of the songs. So even in Canada, which is not a metalhead country at all, This song could be played on the radio, except the growling. So probably it wouldn't go. It would go maybe on late hours on the rock station of Montreal, for example, maybe the rock station of Quebec City. But that's it. It wouldn't be during the day, I don't think so, or very little, because of the growling of Mach, and I have nothing against it. I'm just stating a fact here. In terms of lyrics, apart from the subtitle, the lyrics of the song can be understood, like I say very often, at face value as they come. To understand what it describes, though, it's another thing. We have to have experience what the song talks about to understand it. I'm really, this is, I will talk about it at the evaluation, the 12th video, and I will do a wrap-up of the whole album. I will say a few words about the fact that I find it a little bit sad that Epica relies more, does not rely much on the poetic values of the words and images they use. They rely a little bit more to experience or to document that give to the lyrics a distinct and sometimes not secret meaning but hidden meaning. To me, there's a little bit of sadness because of that. Some people, they like that very, very much. I personally would prefer to have a full-fledged language of poetic symbolic value, but that's the way they do it. If you don't experience what they're talking about here, you're not sure what they're talking about. If you don't have the key to open the song, it will be difficult to understand, and even if the words are not difficult. As for now, the song, what is it that it means? Well, to me, and I want to hear you if it's your take on this one as well. It's the description of meditation. There's a physical description, and also so like breathe, exhale, take pleasure in stopping and all of this. So there's a slight physical description, but mostly what does meditation do in a human heart and mind, the natural and the spiritual effects of meditation. I would call this a soft imperative as an encouragement to persevere so that your true self or essence manifests itself. It frees the true self or the essence. In the process, we come at peace with our internal demons and angel as parts of ourselves, and to welcome them in a way in our conscience will bring peace and unity, like the previous song was talking about. Now, the explanation of the title. First, rêverie. Dreams are in Mach's songs of two kinds. I've seen that through the historical journey we did last summer. There is one kind of dream is unfruitful, unproductive dreams. It's I would say a paralyzing distraction. Okay. The other one, like in this song, is very fruitful and productive. It's a process in which we access to a deeper reality and unification. So this song, the word rêverie, the dreaming, is of the second one here. That's why probably he takes another word, so that there's no confusion between the dreamlike reality, the superficial reality, and the rêverie. What an elegant word in French to describe this dream-like imagination work that in fact here is extremely positive. Okay, why twilight reverie? You know that there are two meanings to twilight. The first one is a physical phenomenon It comes at the end of the day before the full night. That's the twilight. We say crépuscule in French. Very often in English, though, it might refer to the transition between day and night, but also I've seen it also to describe the transition between night and day. So that would be the physical transitional moment in a day from light to night or from night to daylight. So it describes outside reality being transitional moments. These objectively, these are the best time for meditation. When we teach meditation, this is pretty much where we suggest the time period, the time frame. We suggest the people to try to meditate when there is this moment at the end of the day and the beginning of the day before everybody else is awakened. There's also another definition called, when we hear the expression, for example, the twilight zone. Twilight zone, it's a kind of a parallel world, a universe or a parallel university. And not university, parallel reality. The rêverie, twilight rêverie would be the rêverie that gives you access to a parallel world. And why do I bring back that? In the song Omega, there is this understanding of Pierre Teilhard de Chardin of the two energy, parallel energy in the universe, the energy we know, and the spiritual energy. So that would be the rêverie that gives you access to the second layer of the universe. That's quite, I'm pretty sure. The first one being implied, the main one in the title would be this one. Give a rêverie that will give you access to the second level of the universe, the spiritual one. Now, what is the subtitle meaning? Hypnagogic states. It refers to the in-between state at the very moment we are not awakened anymore and not sleeping anymore. It's really this phase where we are still conscious or partly conscious, but there are images, there are foolish things happening, and imagination, our heart, the subconscious take the relay, but we are not gone yet. That's the hypnagogic state. Now, meditation is known to induce that state of full awareness, attention, complete relaxation, where everything happening deeply in the heart have some space. So the hypnagogic state is what you aim at when you do meditation. Okay, so that is why I'm sure that this is a song about all the advantages and the effects of meditation. As you know, there are different trends of meditation. I just want to open this so that every one of you finds its space. The actual trend that we see, pleine conscience, full awareness, full conscience meditation, is you do meditation to connect yourself with your true and full identity. Western meditations, Buddhism and Hinduism, will connect you with your real and deep identity. I would say the one that is from which everything emanates, from which everything comes. It's more of so if the first one is a natural meditation, there is some spiritual, of course, but it's basically full awareness is more a natural process. The Buddhism and Hinduist meditation takes into account a spiritual dimension a little bit more explicitly. And also, if you want to connect it for Christians, Jewish, and so on, there is, this is true, but there's also in meditation to connect yourself with the loving one, another one, not you, not only your true self, but there is someone to meet, someone else to meet. So meditation in a Christian understanding is a relational one. It's you deepen a relation. And for me, you probably notice that sometimes I wear some kind of bracelet, black one, because I practice very old prayer, 15th century, I think, prayer. It goes back all the way back to the Desert Father. It's called the Hesychast prayer, the prayer that leads to peace. Hesychia in Greek is peace. So this is it. The reason why, the reason why I understand this song is simple. I teach Christian meditation. I teach Hesychast prayer I practice it since I'm 20. I'm 57, so make the count. And I teach it for about maybe 20 years. This is my way of life. So I understand pretty much everything in there from experience. So our journey is about to finish. Next week it will be the last song. It is called, I forgot to write it down. So that will be the last song, the 12th instrumental piece. There will be a 12th video the week after. And it will be a wrap-up. So next week it will be the 12th song. The reaction will be in French as usual next Wednesday. We had a lot of fun last Wednesday. And the premiere is at 1:30 as usual. The analysis few days after. Saturday the analysis of the same song comes out in English. Don't forget you can subscribe and push the little bell button to be notified as soon as they come out. So this is it, folks. I hope you liked it. This is a song that was, as you can see, familiar with the images, the understanding of it, everything happening during meditation. And if I have one wish for you is as soon as you can have some calm time and learn to meditate. It's a great blessing. It has been in my life one of the most important things that I learned. So for now, I say hello, see you next week. Bye-bye.